All right, Kyrie Irving will start at point guard for Team USA. Familiar starting lineup to the one we saw yesterday versus Finland. Fran, Turkey is led by Omer Asik.
And he's a guy that's going to team with Anthony Davis in New Orleans this year. But the backcourt, extremely experienced. These guys played a lot against Team USA in the championship game in 2010.
Now the U.S. coming off that domination of Finland yesterday. They are the heavy favorites in this game again today, although Turkey is expected to provide more of a challenge. And again, Fran, you were there in Istanbul in that pressure D as we get under 6 on the shot clock, now down to 5, and the U.S. turns Turkey over, and an easy hoop to break the ice by Kenneth Faried.
When you start with this
behind the Asik screen, and now it's Akyol off the dribble, has it battered away, and on the back line of that defense.
Junior college basketball at Salt Lake Community College. Finished up a great run at Carroll. They tried to foul, they didn't do it.
Here's Curry in transition, throws it up, and Kenneth Faried there to throw it down. Inviting for all of these NBA stars who, as you pointed out, rightly so, Fran, as Faried sends one back. That's a good shot in the NBA.
Well, it is, but Turkey's taking the, trying to play the percentages.
Unbelievable up and under by Kenneth Faried.
Since the late 90s.
Curry thought about it. They go down low to Faried, and Faried is off to a hot start.
You're basically taking their heart away. And so you must attack this way against the zone.
Textbook.
Wrong.
We're not playing our game. We're not pressing the ball right now. We're not getting after it. And we got to come out the second half with more pressure. And stop letting them slow it down. They're really slowing us down, and we're buying into what they want to do. We got to enforce our will.
You guys have been out-rebounded so far by a substantial margin. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. We're missing a lot of threes, so they're getting a lot of those rebounds, and they're really gang rebounding in this group. So they're really getting after it, and they're making sure that we don't get no second chance shots.
Thanks, Kenneth.
All right.
All right, Bob Holtzman with Kenneth Faried, who Fran said, we've got to impose our will. How do you do that?
You know, they've got to get great shots at the rim, and we talked about going into the middle of the lane versus the zone, and we said
Turkey opened up the FIBA competition with a 3-point win over New Zealand. As the U.S. forces a turnover and out and running, it's Kenneth Faried.
That basket was forced by James Harden, who did a great job guarding Asik on the roll. And see, Faried doesn't need to do that. That's exactly what we've talked about. I think they might have called a technical foul here.
Well, for sure, they get the first personal foul on Faried.
And that's just not intelligent basketball. You want to pressure without using your hands. Now, he makes the play at the end off that steal. The coverage is at all. So they're playing 5-on-4 in many cases.
Elbow jumper by Irving, but the second effort by Anthony Davis. And Fran, he has asserted himself to start this half.
Now, this is what you like if you're Coach K. You must play offensively from the rim out. Now, that time he cleaned up the missed shot. But Faried and Davis have got to make their presence felt on the backboards and in the low post area. It doesn't matter what the defense is, because the matchup zone is essentially man-to-man inside. One thing I'm not surprised by is the play of Arslan and Goulage, because they've been around forever. They're not going to get rattled. Defenders guarding the pick and roll.
The last Team USA lead was 25-24 early in the second quarter.
Or Arslan, who's out of the game right now.
They try to establish Asik down low, and the U.S.
Look.
A good look by Irving, and Anthony Davis thunders one in.
Watch the pick and roll coverage.
Faried bats it away. Kept alive by Turkey, and Asik works his way to the line.
There's the drive. Now watch. Great save here. Ball going out of bounds. Asik gets to the rim. Who finished with a flourish last year before he was injured in January.
Davis. Yeah, he's got 11 points already, Fran, in the second half. There's the floater by Akyol, no, and Faried, and this is what the U.S. wants to do. They want to run. Lobbed up by Harden, and Faried on the alley-oop. And your point, because you can get better opportunities.
Get the same semi-contested shot with 5 or 6 on the clock. He's good in here, Savage.
Working on Irving, and good help defense that time for the U.S. And now Steph Curry will push. Curry all the way. Second effort by Davis. Look at Faried fight for it.
Good hustle by Davis. That's a new possession, too. See if Team USA recognizes that.
Davis has been terrific in this third quarter. Faried, second chance.
Now, you like what they're doing because they're starting to play through those guys in the post. Good effort by Faried right here. You see the block by Davis. That got it started. Savage, who's a mechanical below-the-rim guy, usually effective, but this team has today.
Here's Curry with 14 on the shot clock.
I just think...
Nice effort by Kenneth Faried. He has lived up to his manimal nickname.
Young players would get that if you just play 20% harder than you're playing right now, you make your team that much better. This guy gets that. From Newark to Morehead State to the Denver Nuggets and now Team USA. His relentlessness was they ran a set play and they moved the ball from one side of the defense to the other.
Step back three from Harden, no, and Faried cleans it up again. 18 points for Kenneth Faried.
Who hasn't played much today. He's a really good rebounder.
Gay lobs it up to Anthony Davis.
That may be why.
Different levels of trying to get your point across.
Two hands out low, two hands out high, and then the...
Oh, nicely done. Klay Thompson to Anthony Davis. Failed Turkey by 5 points at the half. But the U.S. with a strong third quarter and now dominating fourth quarter to start has turned this into a blowout as Davis does it again. Fran, he's up to 17 points.
A turnabout is fair play.
The way Turkey has played.
Well, I would agree with that. But I also think Team USA has been magnificent in the last 15 minutes. You help on him, you're leaving the shooters opposite open. And now they're getting the ball to the painted area. Yeah. And you'd be thinking the same thing at home right now, like get the ball inside to Anthony Davis, okay? How hard is it? He's his assistant coach at South Florida, but Orlando is the head coach of that Dominican Republic team and will also be the first-year head coach at South Florida. And Kenneth Faried, Kevin, I think you'd agree, set the tone in terms of his intensity in the second half.
No question about it. This one.
I think I told you about 90, right?
You did. As the three goes down for Turkey and Erms. And the final horn sounds on a game where Team USA was tested for about 30 minutes of basketball. Turkey led by 5 at the half. A very strong second half by the U.S. pounding it down inside. Anthony Davis with 19, all coming in the second half. The U.S. outscores Turkey 63-37 in the final 20 minutes, en route to the 21-point win. We'll come back, put a bow on things after this.